What's something that more than half of Canadians will have to do in their lifetimes but haven't prepared for yet?
More than half will do, but they aren't prepared to do.
I have no idea.
Just a guess, take a guess. Just a wild guess. Any wild guesses? You can just guess anything.
Taxes.
That might be illegal.
Retire?
Oh, that's a good guess. That's a good guess. Anything else?
Vote?
That's depressing.
No, that's bad.
No, but that is bad, but you might be right.
Buying groceries.
Buying groceries, you think only half of it? What is wrong with you?
Get married.
Don't you believe in love?
Divorce.
I like your positivity, Prince. It's awesome.
I live a good life. I don't like to think about things that I don't need to think about.
Well, amazing. Things are going good for you, Prince.
Yeah.
Life's going to beat you down eventually.
Yeah.
You don't have to use that part.
I'm prepared.
Half will do in their lifetimes, but aren't prepared for.
I like how you're approaching this like a riddle. There's no money to be won, but you'll win my admiration. Is that enough?
No.
Yeah,
No.
it's not even enough for me. I don't feel good about it either. It's a terrible deal.
Give birth?
I hadn't thought of that answer. That's a better answer than my answer.
What's yours?
My answer is more than half of Canadians are going to become a caregiver in their lifetime.
Oh,
That's fascinating, right?
that is something to think about for sure.
Yeah, no, I would assume that.
Does that surprise you?
No, I believe it.
Now we're going to head to the studio to hear from Amber, a family caregiver, about her journey. How do you wake up one morning and think, I guess I'm a caregiver?
I guess when you realize that you are speaking up on behalf of someone else, when you realize that without your actions, the person might not have the best day that they could.
How has caregiving played a role in your life?
My older sister has a developmental disability. She's 9 years older than me, so ever since I was little, I guess caregiving has been modeled to me by our mom. But now my mom is now 75, and so I think that now maybe I'll be stepping more into the role of caregiving for my sister. She has a lot of challenging behaviors, and I guess growing up with her, I've seen that the behaviors are not just bad behaviors or negative behaviors which is what maybe other people see, but in fact, it's a communication of some sort. And that's what we often say in the field, like behavior is communication, and it is. Okay. And so I think like, I don't have to fake having that perspective. I believe it wholeheartedly.
Right.
So when I'm advocating for her, I sort of phrase it as, look, she wouldn't want to have you be cooking for her. She would want to go out and buy groceries for herself and cook her own meals of her choice. So I think it's important to remember that the people may not want to be in that situation. They're vulnerable, they need help, but they would want to be independent and be making those choices.
Is there anything you learned from watching your mom taking care of your sister about how you can strike that balance between being a caregiver and being an individual?
Yes, my mom has a lot of hobbies and she's very connected to the community. So I've seen in other families that they can become very isolated when their whole life it revolves around caring for their child or their family member. My mom always said she wanted to make sure that my brother and I also had time with her and with my dad. So rather than it so often happens that everything revolves around the child with the disability, even though there are other children, she always made time for us and then for her own hobbies. So for example, now she does her choir and every morning she goes to exercise. So I think all of those things have showed me how important it is, to make that time for yourself.
Yeah, what's a good thing about being a caregiver or a caregiver team?
I think being a caregiver is very meaningful. It adds depth to my life, that I have somebody that I can help, especially a family member. So I think it really is a meaningful pursuit. I just know that without advocacy from myself and my mom, that her life wouldn't be going in the same direction as it is now. I think it's all about relationship and trust, and without that, the team will not be very effective. Just remember that you're helping even though it may not feel like any progress is being made. The fact that you're engaged and involved is still very helpful, useful, meaningful.
Listen, thank you so much for sharing, and I wish you all the very best. If any caregivers need support, check out the Canadian Centre for Caregiving Excellence, a program by the Azrieli Foundation. They're a national organization that, amongst many other things, offers a free virtual mindfulness program. The program is designed by caregivers, for caregivers, and is available in English and French. For more great caregiving content, check out storiesforcaregivers.com.